It's the year 1939. Professor Phineas Horton creates a human-looking android. It has a defect in its photoelectric solar cells. They catch fire upon contact with oxygen. The people of New York force the professor to bury his work. A small crack lets oxygen enter the capsule and the android goes up in flames, causing large fires in the city. We can say that, along with Namor, we are facing the first anti-heroes in history. The Human Torch had a sidekick called Toro the Flaming Boy. He was exposed to Horton's cells as a child. This mutated his body, generating powers similar to those of his partner. The Human Torch was part of the police force, adopting the name Jim Hammond. The first major crossover in history was between the Human Torch and Submariner. It had 2 issues of Marvel Mystery Comics, where, in the first issue, it told the story from the point of view of a character. In the next issue, the same story from the other character's point of view. Given the decline of superheroes in the 1950s, editor Martin Goodman attempted to revive superheroes at Atlas Comics. Unfortunately, he failed in the attempt. Jim Hammond was present at Pearl Harbor. This attack left a big mark on him, and in the following days he carried out a counterattack on Japan and killed the Japanese Admiral Nodobe in the process. Upon discovering that the ship carrying Winston Churchill was about to be attacked by the Nazis, he, along with other heroes, including Submariner, stopped the attack. Winston suggested that the group get together and call themselves invaders. The Torch was responsible for Hitler's death. Prior to Adolf's suicide attempt, Jim arrives at the bunker and tries to dissuade him from surrendering. In the face of confusion, Hitler ended up burned alive at the hands of Jim. Carl Burgos was the creator of the character. Human Torch first appeared in Marvel Comics #1 in 1939. Big legal problems arose between Carl and Marvel, since he shares a name and some powers with the FF character. The Human Torch can stay lit for 16.8 hours. He can release all his energy in a nova explosion, similar to a nuclear explosion. He has claimed that it can destroy a small moon, or part of it. Jim usually needs at least 12 hours to recover from that. He can generate composite forms of fire. These only burn for 3 minutes before expiring. Jim can extinguish flames by absorbing them. He differs from Johnny Storm, as Jim can make radioactive flames. The Human Torch can live without oxygen, entering ecstasy mode. The Quiet Man has claimed that Hammond has a soul despite his artificial origin. Jim has human physiology. This causes him to have normal needs and weaknesses. He can be hypnotized, brought down with gas or drugs. Toro has implied that Jim has normal human excretory functions. His synthetic blood has demonstrated restorative properties. A blood transfusion from the Torch gave Spitfire his powers. After World War II, Jim was placed in deactivation mode in the Mojave Desert. An atomic test brought him out of his lethargy. He became unstable and turned into Nova, draining all of his energy and deactivating himself permanently. He is Vision. Immortus created a duplicate of his body. This was obtained by Ultron. He used this duplicate to create Vision. This explains their physical similarities. Jim was revived by the Scarlet Witch, who was seeking answers about Vision. Namor decapitated Jim, destroying his body and leaving only his head. Tony Stark created an improvised body for him from his armor.